Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the JR Wisdom channel. Once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And today, unfortunately, I'm going to be coming at you with another topic. Some more ill stuff going on in New York City, East Harlem to be exact. And I felt like I should touch on this because of the whole situation, how parenting is so important, how being a father is so important, and the family dynamic overall is important. And the reason why boys and girls need to have a father in their lives, and why especially little boys shouldn't be spoiled to the point where they get this attachment where they feel like they can't be productive stand-up males in society, protectors, and overall alpha, if you will, and just be a man. And unfortunately, this is what happens a lot of times, where a single mother, by choice or maybe not by choice, and in this situation it seems to be by choice, which I'll get into it, that this does happen in an unfortunate situation like this occurs, where you have an emotionally unstable man child does the unthinkable to his mother. And it's all because he doesn't know how to handle his emotions, can't take rejection. His way is to lash out. And maybe if there was a male involved, that he could have been, steered in a different direction, or he wouldn't have conducted himself like that. This man is 22 years old. His mother's 40. So you guys may have heard of it. You may not have heard of it. This is the story, so to speak, of a guy named Musa Camara. He's 22 years old. His mother was only 40 years old. Still a young woman. She's a mother of 8. I'm assuming it's including him. And her youngest child is still a toddler. And basically, whatever the situation is, she came to the States in the 90s. She's a Gambian. Came to the States in the 90s, which I would assume she would have had to be around a teenager around that time in the 90s. And, like I said, he's 22 years old, so she's 18 years older than him. And she's worked different jobs. This is from what her brother, because if you watch the video that I have linked in the description where her brother talks about it, she's worked different jobs. Very nice lady, nice young lady. Doesn't have any issues other than her son. She stays in the New York Housing Authority in the PJs. And one of the issues, obviously, that came up over time was her son. And before this even happened, which a lot of you guys may not have known about, is she's been having issues with him, repeatedly. There have been multiple run-ins where she's had to call the police on him back to back. Several domestic violence issues going on within the household, till I guess the final straw was this past summer, where he body slammed her on the ground and she got an order of protection. And I guess something, I've never heard of this. This may be, new, or maybe pretty old, but they issued her like a panic button. I guess it's something that alerts the police department for someone who has an order of protection, where they are supposed to react and, come to that location wherever you're at, immediately. So basically what this all stemmed from was that at a certain point, he felt like he was her boyfriend, as I've spoken a lot about in other videos, and that he could just lounge and lay up and didn't have to listen, and could smoke weed all day, play video games, and hang out. And there's no reason why he should have to clean up, help her out with the kids, at least if he's going to stay in the house, or any of these things. He felt like, on some Jody type stuff from Baby Boy. I can stay up in here. At least Jody worked, and I guess he cleaned up. But this guy right here wasn't doing anything. Your mother has 7 other kids, and you're just feeling like, okay, if she's having these kids, I'm just going to lay up in here and not do anything. Don't have to contribute. She wants me to clean up. She's constantly yelling at me now. Wants me to get a job. All these other things. And he's not even with that. And this is why it's so important to start grooming your kids as an early age instead of spoiling them or leading them to a certain path. I'm not saying either way spoiled kids will turn out this way or a kid that's completely the opposite will turn out this way. But the fact of the matter is there are certain things that contribute to this type of behavior. And this is one of them. So anyway, basically after all this, she ends up kicking him out. And because she kicked him out, obviously he resented her for kicking him out. And so he would still threaten her and things like that over this time. And the day that this incident happened, which was this past Tuesday, which was the 26th of January, yesterday, he was supposed to show up to court. I guess he had a hearing that same day that he did this to his mom. So I guess with everything building up and all the emotion, he shows up to her apartment and basically, you know, he's high or whatever, shoots her in the head, dips, peels off. While he's running away, he fires a shot at a random stranger. Then eventually he's caught by the police and detained and arrested. And supposedly when he gets to the police department, he strips, takes off all his clothes, acts crazy and all this other stuff. And supposedly he has a history of mental health issues, allegedly, or doing these things. But my thing is, you're smart enough to run. You're smart enough to get a gun, to run and do all of these things, show up, and you're smart enough to know you had court that day. And you're smart enough to you know, do all of these things, but all of a sudden you have these issues. So a lot of times as boys become men, girls become women, it's too late at a certain point. You may be getting help, but it's too late. And the fact that for her to have a toddler, she must have still had a man in her life at some point. But you got a guy like this, if you're dealing with a woman or a single mother who has a grown ass man for a child living in her house, that should be an automatic sign to tell you that you can't really have anything serious with this woman, because he's going to think he's the man in the house. Just like Jodie's character once again, and Melvin and Baby Boy. It's going to be some resentment, and he has this Oedipus complex towards his mother because he thinks that, just like it's said in the film, he thinks that he's the boyfriend, he's the man of the house, and she may have been treating him as such. And that's where you have these issues when things change up suddenly and he's confused. He's like, I got to clean up, I got to do all this stuff. You know, I shouldn't have to do this and I shouldn't have to work. And basically has no guidance as far as what to do or to be escorted into manhood or what a man should be doing, because he's just been so used to his mother doing these things for him. He doesn't know how to react. Emotionally, he's not there. Emotionally, he's a child. So this drastic change of circumstances, and he may be living on the streets or who knows where he was living at, because he doesn't know what to do. And I don't want to blame it on one in particular, one side or the other, because there are people like myself and other successful men throughout history who didn't have a father and is still able to move forward. But for some reason, this guy had it set in his mind and there was some enabling going on and he just couldn't get past it. So my thing is, you can't turn your sons into little boyfriends. It looks cute when they're young. It looks cute babying them. It looks cute saying that this is my king. He's the king of the castle. There's no man coming before him. And if she had this attitude, no man is really going to want to deal with you, other than, you know, he might put a baby in you and keep it moving, because you might have a certain attitude to where your kids can either do no wrong, or it's a certain age where a man can't even tell this child or give him any guidance or mentorship. So it's like this cycle that goes on, and I've covered this in a couple of my previous videos. You're not doing these little boys any favors. They become emotionally unstable, not centered, not able to deal with their emotions, and they have a problem with authority. That being you as the mother and a potential father figure. So I'm not saying that this could have, but it could have been prevented. And it's best to get this under wraps at an early age. And this is why a father, and once again, not to say that a father can prevent every single thing, but this is the reason why the importance of a father to be in a child's life is so important, to mitigate issues like this and prevent. Now we have a mother of 8 gone over some foolishness with this guy because he can't control himself as a man because he doesn't know how to be a man. So with that being said, you know, you guys let me know your thoughts on this. We're seeing more and more of this going on in the news. You guys probably have seen it as well. Let me know your thoughts on it. Like I said, let me hear your comments if you had any similar situations to this. And, you know, once again, if you got any topics you'd like me to discuss, please feel free to email them to me. If you'd like to seek a one-on-one or like me to cover anything that I may have missed, make sure you guys hit me up on the email. Check out all my links in the description. Check out my new book I just dropped, The Law of Attraction for the Pessimistic Mind. And with that being said, check out these videos here that's related to this topic. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace be upon you and the mercy and blessings of the Almighty. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.